Cooking is so fun. Cooking is so fun. Now it's time to take a break and see what we have done. Yay! It's ready!
Welcome. You are watching If You Can Read, You Can Cook. I'm your host, Christina, and we are making raspberry crumb bars today. I've already started with 1 cup of butter that's already been creamed, and we are adding a half a cup of light brown sugar to that. Decide to work. And while that's creaming, we've already added a half a cup of sweetened mini chocolate chips to 1 can of sweetened condensed milk in the microwave, and for about a minute, and you stir it, and when it's melted and completed, we're going to set that off to the side. When that is all mixed and completed in your mixer, you're going to add 2 cups of flour with 1/4 teaspoon of, I use kosher salt in all my baking. And you also want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees and let that preheat for about half an hour before you put anything in your oven. And that is about the consistency that you want. So, if I can find the removal piece. And now you're going to take 1 3/4 of your little dough mix here. And you're going to add it to the bottom of your already buttered pan that is 13 by 9 inches. And I like kind of a 2-inch wide dish because it is going to go kind of high up. And I had and I rather use butter instead of the little spray you can use to make it non-stick, because butter actually adds flavor to it instead of the other stuff. So you're just gonna crumble it out and then pat it down. Try to make a layer, which can be difficult because it wants to get all over your fingers. And this might take about 2 to 3 minutes to do. And don't worry, it's supposed to be a thin layer. It'll actually rise a little bit. So you take your completed little bottom layer, and we're going to put it in the oven for about 10 minutes until the edges get all nice and golden brown. And as you can see, the temperature is a little different than what I said because this is a convection oven I have set on. So it's going to be at 300 instead of 350. And now is just a waiting game. I'm going to wash my hands, get all that gunk off. So I just took our crumb crust out of the oven, and now we're going to add our chocolate mixture on top. And a little information about the chocolate. I always prefer semi-sweet and stuff like bars and stuff than milk, because milk kind of leaves, I want to say, a waxy residue. I don't know if it's just me, if I'm weird or anything, but I prefer semi-sweet for stuff like this. And you're just going to spread it evenly. Now that we have that done, we're going to add the rest of our of our little crust on top. And you can also add 1/4 cup of chopped nuts if you like nuts. I really don't like nuts, so this is going to be without nuts, because I'm eating it. And if you wanted it to be more crumbly, you could always add, after you add the first layer, more powdered sugar to the dough that we're adding right now, and it would be more crumbly. And it's really a matter of preference, so I'd only do no more than like a 1/2 cup of that. And now for the good stuff, the raspberry jam. This is actually a black raspberry jam that my sister-in-law created, and she always makes it for me, so I'm kind of rather addicted to it. But I've also made it with the regular store-bought kind, which is also really good. This is just what I have, so this is what I'm using. And you just want to plop it down in little layers in random spots. I try not to get too close to the corners because then it's really hard when you're trying to take them out. But you also don't want to deprive that little spot of raspberry. Come on. A 12-ounce container of jam. Okay. And now we're going to put it back in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. Oh, wait. Before I do that, I'm forgetting the best part. A whole cup of the chocolate chips. Yes, thank you, oven. And you're just going to spread those on top. Sorry, got to add the final layer. There we go. Now it's beautiful. And now we wait yet again. It's been 20 minutes, so we are taking our finished product out, and we're going to have to wait again, I know, another hour because we want it to settle. Otherwise, if you do it right now or any time before an hour, it's going to be a mess, and I like it to be pretty. So, yet again, we have to wait. And it's bubbling. Okay, it's been an hour, and as you can see, we're easily able to cut away at the raspberry crumb bar. Need a better angle. And I have 3 different ways. 2 of them look very similar, but let me tell you they're a little bit different. This is just by itself, and our cameraman likes it with a graham cracker underneath, but he prefers it when it's a little bit more runny. So this is ideally when it's still straight out of the oven. I would wait about 10 minutes so you don't burn your mouth off. And this is how I like it. And it's just a little bit fancier this way in case you wanted to do a dinner party, but Basically, it is a layer of your raspberry crumb bar, and then you have a scoop of vanilla ice cream, another raspberry crumb bar, vanilla ice cream, and homemade whipped cream with a little bit of chocolate chips to make it look a little pretty on top. And that is how you make a raspberry crumb bar.